This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Before, but there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Dennis is going to welcome you to today's conversation with the proverb. He'll tell you where it's from, and we'd like to hear your interpretation of it.
We are in the Rainbow Nation, South Africa. Beautiful country, beautiful people, beautiful culture. You know, a country, when you look at the history, you talk about apartheid, but let's look at how fast South Africa has come from that. Challenges here and there, power is still a problem. But you look at the economy, one of the biggest economies in the continent that is being pushed mostly by mining that is taking place, and also finance in South Africa. Beautiful beaches there if you want to go enjoy some sun, but saizi kuna baridi kidogo. But so just stay in the 254. But let's go to the proverb. You are what you do, not what you say. You are what you do, not what you say. How would you interpret that?
Actions define you. Probably what you do is what people remember, not what you said.
Yeah. Easy, straight shooter.
Absolutely. It's what you do, not what you said, not all the time. Right. So, Moshe, we are looking into conversations around, what's been happening over the last week. Political season has, the bell was rung on the season a while ago. And I guess the first kind of questions that we've been looking at is really what's happening. And we can look at it through a political or from an analytical eye. We can also look at it from who your alliances and around whom they have been formed, right? And want to very clearly ask questions as we're looking into about, a year and a half towards the next election. What we are seeing today, are we looking at pre-election alliances? Or are we actually looking at the formation of governments that could essentially secure Kenya's future? What are we looking at?
It's exactly 2 years to the next general election. Probably 2 years and a day. That tells you we are in the formation stage of either coalition or intentions to form coalitions. Naturally, any presidential campaign cannot be done near to the election. A presidential campaign begins before. And number two, even gubernatorial, you cannot expect a governor to be a governor for 1 year. For instance, in a county like Kajiado, where I come from, 5 constituencies spread wide from the border with Taita Taveta, our border with Narok, with Nakuru, Kiambu, Nairobi, of course our neighbors Tanzania at Lake Natron. So you'd expect intentions to be declared at this point. Nonetheless, the John C. Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. We have a leadership crisis in the country that has led to a number of deficiencies. In those deficiencies, remember, nature upholds vacuum. In the absence of either felt, perceived, or real threat, naturally, life would adjust to create a situation where you would feel comfortable. Because there are people who feel, I being one of them, that William Ruto should not have been president. You would find others who feel that probably they have an alternative to ideas or policies that government has. So it is at this point that you would be able to declare. It's at this point that you'd be able to talk about them. And remember, this is Kenya. This is not a private company. This is a country. So in a country, we run, and it's a democratic country, where what you say, we cross-check, we examine. We are not meant to believe. For instance, when the president says, I'm one of the best presidents, a doctor who has been elected, we are not supposed to take what you have said. We cross-examine, we check. Number one, are you a real doctor? Did you go to school for sure? That is the nature of democracy. Democracy is not where you come and tell people that this is what I'm going to do as a country and I want all of you to, take part. No, some of us will say no. This is not, we are not in a military formation, neither are we in a police state. We are in a democratic country where you're allowed, however good an idea will be, I'm allowed to criticize that idea. So I would comfortably...
Even if you had previously made so even if you had previously made a decision to go along with this same idea that doesn't make sense now at the present time, if you made a decision to vote for the current government and somehow down the line you say, okay, well, maybe this isn't actually going in the direction that I had hoped it would once I cast my ballot, do you still reserve the right to critique it?
You have the right to critique it, even more. Remember, this is an individual. He presented himself to us as a political party, then UDA. He should not have been the only candidate. There were others who would have vied. But we made him our presidential candidate. He does not meet to the standards of the party. For your information, in South Africa, the country you brought the quote from, Zuma was recalled by his political party. It was halfway, his second term. True or false?
True.
Just before him, Thabo Mbeki. Same thing. So, a decision to retract from a leader, probably who is deficient of a number of issues, is not a wrong thing. It's actually the nature of democracy. So, people would feel dissatisfied, and what you will do, what would be wrong is when you do not... why would you want to stay with a shoe that pinches you just because it's a decision you made? I bought it. If you're not comfortable, the wearer of the shoe knows where it pinches the most. So I take it off. So we made a wrong decision, I being one of them, who was a member of the UDA party, still a member of the UDA party, and I feel that I elected the wrong president. I presented to Kenya the wrong candidate. We're ready to correct that going forward.
So here's a question where at the time when the president William Ruto presented himself as the presidential candidate, you came through as one of the supporters, and one would say today that there are differences and you do not align on the same aspirations because a lot has changed. The simple question would be, why not resign and seek for re-election? If you at all do not feel as though the aspirations of the party leader don't go hand in hand with what you believe in.
That's an option, but it depends on why you would want to resign.
You don't trust in the person leading the party.
But remember, he doesn't cease to be president. Even if I'm elected on another party, he still remains president. Is the problem solved? Not really. Because, you see, the person with the problem is the president. I believe so. If for instance, and by the way, the option to resign is something I'm considering. Yes, it's something I'm considering. It's something that is close. I'm also doing consultations with people who elected me. Having served for a while as a leader, I also know there are decisions that are not individual because people elected me for a reason. I also am looking at the timelines of the decisions that I need to make now, but it's something I am personally considering.
So let's talk about the decisions that the party has made. So here's a situation where 2022 President William Ruto is voted in as the President of the Republic of Kenya, assumes office and continues to do his business. Let's extrapolate that to 2024. Finance bill is here. Kenyans say no. Members, did you vote yes?
Yes.
You voted yes for finance bill. Kenyans say no. You and team decide to say yes to the finance bill. Kenyans go on the street. It is withdrawn. We see members of parliament clapping. Then we have the broad-based government that is formed between these two parties. What is the reason why this broad-based government does exist as we speak right now? Is it to deal with ending police brutality, lowering the cost of living, ending corruption, or is it for leaders to maintain power?
Of course, the broad-based has nothing to do... First of all, it was not a party decision. I sit in the National Governing Council. I sit in the National Delegates Conference. None of those were ratified in our Governing Council, neither our Delegates Conference. The highest organ in a political party is the National Delegates Conference. We did not ratify. We have not met as the delegates. And so therefore, we did not ratify that decision. That is a decision of William Ruto, together with his brother, Raila Odinga. They made a decision. As a political party, first of all, you see, you do not impose you bring in ideas. I've seen probably Jubilee has a delegates conference and they have highlighted the agenda. When you call for a delegates conference and governing council, you highlight the agenda. You must write the agenda. The Registrar of Political Parties Act.
So that people essentially know what they're coming to do.
Yes, they're coming to do. You cannot sneak in an agenda. And even when you say we might have any other business, it must be declared first, approved. You cannot bring in an agenda that was never there. That is why the Registrar of Political Parties streamlined issues of parties, so that you do not amend a section or remove somebody in office in an unconstitutional manner. You must give somebody a fair hearing or something. Now, the decision of the Broadbased is William Ruto wanted to maintain power. He wanted MPs to rally behind him, the ODM MPs. I wish Kaluma was here today. I would have been very happy. Because one of the things that happened is that William Ruto, because of the unrest, because of what was happening, he called members of parliament from a region in the country, especially central Kenya. And he told them that as it is, I must bring in Raila Odinga on board. And he requested them for their patience and telling them that I want to assure you nothing will change the most. That's a meeting that happened around Muthaiga. And since then, that's how Raila came in. Raila coming in, he brings two former colleagues, John Badi and Opio Wandai. You can tell the intention of Raila and Ruto coming together was for leaders to maintain power. So that William Ruto remains president, but get me some CSS, a school from Turkana, you have Oparanya, you have about 5 of them, and the former governor of Mombasa. And you see, that has nothing to do. There was no ratification also in ODM. They never ratified them in their political party. When political parties are even doing mergers or they have an agreement, these are issues that are done in a political party. And I can tell you, it would have had contest on either of the political parties.
Would it have made a difference if these political parties that we see running UDA, which by the way, just be very clear, you are a member of UDA?
Yeah, as of now, I'm elected on UDA.
Okay.
Yeah, but in future, I will not be contesting on a UDA ticket. Yeah.
Because of some of the things that you've talked about.
Yeah. I'm not in agreement with what we promise Kenyans, what we are doing, and what we intend to do in the future.
All right.
Yeah.
But now, would you see a difference if these political parties were actually doing what political parties are meant to do? That political parties, when we look at it in a political dispensation, are actually supposed to, number one, establish and live by certain ideologies. It is the ideology that is the character of a political party. What we've seen, which is okay, because then maybe we need to be reinventing our democracy. There is no rule that's hard and fast that says Africa and its nations have to stick by the democracy which was essentially birthed by the Western world. It's possible that you can live out your own democracy in fear and trembling. You can do that. But if we're going to use the term political parties, the assumption is that we're going to work on an ideology, economics, socialism, nation building, patriotism, whatever the case may be. But what we have seen is that political parties have been used as vehicles for individuals to achieve expediency. Could that be the problem?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. But of course, political parties, like a leader once defined, people are, naturally they come from somewhere. And the nature of political parties in Kenya, they have been region-based before they carry any aspiration, that they carry an ideal. Before that, mostly in Kenya, since 1963, KADU, remember the issue of KADU? Slightly it was regional. Some of the people felt the Costarians, some other regions felt that they were not part. Kamatusa, a number of formations have been there. So, but what we can all of us agree is that even Kenyans don't hold political parties to account. Because you see, for instance, the longest party now that has been in the country is KANU. KANU, since independence, was known to be, one, a national party, but number two, it had a number of ideals that probably KANU brought into play but have they been exhibited in how they operate and when they have been in power? Probably Kenyans would have a different opinion. ODM, the same, but probably has been around for quite some time. And other small political parties. In my thinking, the only person who can hold political parties to account is not the politicians, it's Kenyans. Because if a political party, it is formed, and it says, this is their vision, this is what they endeavor to do, this is what they stand for, the only person that can hold that political party to account are Kenyans.
How?
Number one, there is no political party without people. Has the delegates, I told you, it has people from different regions. It is those people who hold to account. For instance, when I talked about the ANC, Zuma was not removed by the high and the mighty in the political party. It is the delegates of the party that impeached him first from the party. And they removed him. And then what followed in parliament was now the decision of the political party. Why is it like so? The people in CCM, our neighbors Tanzania, we border Tanzania, Kajiado borders Tanzania on the other side. I have interacted with the councillors, the civic leaders, and even the members of parliament. Their chairmen of political parties at the regions are even more powerful than people who vie. When I say powerful, they make more decisions on local issues. For instance, they still have the local authority. They make more decisions than their elected councillors and even the mayors. They even determine sometimes, for instance, if you're elected as councillors, they determine who becomes the mayor. It is the decision that is made by their CCM.
According to their desire.
Yes.
Not according to issues.
Sometimes not really.
Okay.
Actually, sometimes according to issues, because for instance, in Ngorongoro, the crisis in Ngorongoro has made their CCM party in their civic election. They made very different decisions. They removed some of their. By the way, for your information, a friend of mine, a member of parliament called Sedeka, is a sitting member of parliament right now. He has been denied an opportunity to vie by his political party.
Why?
So Mchujo, the first phase, he did not even get to the nominations. They happened, I think, 3 days ago. He was sitting, but was not denied an opportunity by his political party. So what happened? The sub-county, or rather the Jimbo, what they call the Jimbo, which is now equivalent to the constituency, they agreed they don't want to be a candidate. So the other candidate who approved, I think 5 of them. So they went now for the nominations and they elected somebody to become now their flag bearer there. Why has that been entrenched? Remember, when Julius Nyerere was the president, one of the things he enshrined, it is that leadership was about people, was about the issues that people raise. And over time, they have cultivated a culture where you cannot impose to them. They hold barazas, which determine what you talk about in Bunge. They hold meetings, even budgeting, their budget process, you look at it, the DC sits in the meeting, and whatever is approved there, that is what you take to Dodoma. This it's not a very easy thing. By the way, to make people form around an ideal, push and consistently believe in the same, it's not an easy thing. It's not very easy. It's something that you have to work out. But most importantly, we have a generation also of people who are not very keen on decisions that are made over them.
Yeah. So, asks the question, at what point did Onesmus Ngogoyo fall out with President William Ruto?
Slightly, maybe a year and a half after our election.
A year after the election.
A year and a half.
1 year and a half.
Yes.
But then again, you find that what was being pushed, the Finance Bill 2024, you voted yes. What were your reasons for voting yes for the Finance Bill?
First of all, we had had several meetings as a team with the president. We raised our issues, part of which I was the things I believe that I was dissenting towards. When we raised those issues, some of them, or rather even most of them, they agreed that they were issues that were sensitive. For instance, I'll just take you back so that I'll pick on 2 of them. Sure. There was the issue of taxing motor vehicle so that you're paying a tax on a car that you own. And I remember the Uber people in my area, they came to me and gave me the logic of how they pick a car from Mombasa, from my yard. They are allowed to pay daily. They pay for about 3 years, 2,000 till they pay. And they convinced me that tax is going to affect them. That was one of the issues that I had a problem with. The other issue was the issue of the taxation of the green thing. There's a green tax that was supposed to come. Yeah, the eco levy. I also raised that issue because I was also approached by people who were doing in Isinya. They were doing some biashara there, and they raised that issue to me. That, amongst many other things. Now, when we went for our PG, we raised that with the president. One, he didn't like it, but he ordered the committee to absorb the concerns that members had. Most of them they removed, actually. Most of them they removed because a number of members had said they will not vote for that thing if it was like so. But the other thing that the president convinced us is that he has to get money to do our roads. For instance, he had come to my constituency, announced that we have a network of road called 65 kilometers that started when Uhuru Kenyatta was in power. And he convinced me that for me to finish your roads, I have to get money. So one of the reasons why I wanted to vote for the finance bill was because I wanted to get the roads that were started off by Uhuru Kenyatta. They were done 20%. 80% of those roads were not done.
I have the question. At the time when you're having these discussions with the president, Kenyans were speaking and Kenyans were rejecting this public participation. Remember, the Constitution talks about sovereignty belongs to the people. You as a member of parliament, the authority to represent the people has been donated to you. And the people were speaking and speaking so loudly. At what point didn't these voices make any sense to you as a member of parliament?
On the issues, because it's also people are very specific on very issues. Some of the messages that I got were very specific. Do away with this, do away with this, do away with this. Some were too objective to the extent that they would tell you on this paragraph, this is what I think is an issue. But remember, even at that point, what you are looking at, there are two things. You have the interest of, I'm elected to do a certain job, to lobby for roads, to lobby for projects on water, and you balance between the two of them. But what does, if I am to do something for you, and I am informed that this will not, you want a bottle of water, and for me to deliver the bottle of water, there are two options. I can give somebody to bring to you, or I can deliver it to you directly. The channel to which you achieve something, we might not necessarily agree. But one of the things that people wanted is that they wanted contentious clauses deleted. Right?
And
that is what we exactly did. Personally, on the decision to vote for that finance bill, that is what informed me. But nonetheless, they say it's now behind us. What is important now, like you said power is donated by the people. I intend to operate within that pretext. Largely because remember also, even we are bound by decisions also by a political party. We went for a PG. We agreed on what we should do. And that PG, for your information, nobody was singled out. A number of issues came up, not necessarily that we agreed 100%, but of course, that was it at that point. But going forward, you see, I would not also allow myself to be in collision with my own people. I don't intend to do so. Yeah, I don't intend to do so.
Let's take a break at this point. Onesimus Gogoyo is the Member of Parliament for Kajiado North. We're asking questions. All right, so we're going to go into the 2 years when we come back from this short break. And then it becomes, look, are we saying that it is really alliances for the election, or are the people and the nation front and center of these decisions? We'll come back and continue after this at 23 minutes to 10. Don't go away.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Enjoy fresh chicken whole at 398 shillings per kg. Red grapes pack 500 grams at 299 shillings. Your My Laundry bus of cream 1 kg at 154 shillings. And Mika fridge 138 liters at 26,995 shillings.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Grow with Safaricom Business. Power your business with Safaricom's unmatched connectivity. Super fast, reliable internet with business fiber. Next level speed with 5G. Seamless speed with Safaricom 4G. Pocket-sized power connects up to 16 devices. Safaricom Business. Dial *485# to get connected.
The only way to start your day.
Right? To speak in dissatisfaction today is your right. And we saw people who may have spoken at dissatisfaction pre-election, but then also have gone onto the other side during the administration. And those are all formations of a broad-based government that we see today. So many things are being said. And I have to ask...
Yeah, the bread-based government.
Oh, sure, okay. So many things are being said at the moment, and then one would ask, is it for the people? Is it for the nation? Or are we actually looking at another opportunity for folks to take a stab at being elected in 2027? These things that we're talking about, the people of Kenya, we're talking about infrastructure. You mentioned roads that I wanted to come back. I voted yes for the finance bill to ensure that the road from point A to point B was actually completed and that the funds were actually making their way to follow function. Are those the things that people are really concerned about? Or do we are folks looking for position for personal gain? Really, honestly, truly, what are we talking about here?
I think I'm very now clear in my mind, and having also consulted very well, is that majority of the things that this government is doing, leave the election of 2027 alone, majority of the things the government is doing right now are in collision with the people. The issue of police brutality is a problem. And I'll give you two examples in Ongata Rongai, which I represent 100%. One, last year a child was killed by in the riots.
Yes.
Kennedy Onyango. Number two, this year, one boy called Michael, again Onyango, was shot, 2 bullets, one on the hand, one at the hip, 2 removed, 7 years. No demonstration, he was in the house. The police came and shot, fired around the plot that they live in. Now, you see, when I go to Ongata Rongai, nobody wants to hear about that government. So I'm very clear in my mind that where I stand, I'm in agreement with my people. Number two, who wants to continue with what is happening? Was with the CS for Interior. He came to Kajiado. And I and my senator just passed by the morning brief. We had other function, we passed by the morning brief. And we raised to him the issue of Ongata Rongai, Kiserian, Ngong. And we told him we don't like what the police are doing. One of the things that I have heard continuously that is not being addressed. Everybody will talk about peace, 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 peace. But remember, there can be no peace without justice. If you leave out justice and you want to talk about peace, it doesn't work. They quote Martin Luther in all their quotes about peace, but they forget. He said there can be no peace without justice. There can be no justice without peace. So you have to start somewhere. Kenyans feel that the government, either the elected or the government that was elected, has gone contrary to a number of issues, including one, maiming its own people. I've just quoted 2 children, but I can tell you in Kiserian, in Rongai, we have buried so many people continuously. Is the government concerned about what is happening? No, at all. No response. No nothing. People are buried with their own money. They have done everything. I looked at the 10 points agenda. I am really looking forward to one that they said about compensation of families. I want to see how government is going to treat that thing. Because you see, this is an agenda that we must talk every day. If you want Kenyans to move out of the place that they are now, for them to feel comfortable that there is a government in place, they can only move out when they feel that the government has addressed the issues they were raising. On the issue of the commitments by the president himself. Remember, he was elected on a platform that is going to do a number of things. I come from Kajiado North. We agreed that from Bomas to Ongata Rongai to Kiserian, we shall do all that road. He announced himself that his first job, he knows where the problem was. I can give you the clip. So actually at your own time, I'll get you the clip. He announces that he's going to do all that road. Up to date, no dueling.
Some job is being done, though.
Recarpeting, that is our normal fuel levy.
The road has been expanded, bro.
But that's our fuel levy, you're aware? And that has nothing to do with the dueling of that road. It has nothing. And by the way, whether Ruto is president or not, the extra lane has nothing to do with this current government, for your information. That road is allocated about 600 million every year from Bomas of Kenya to Magadi for maintenance of that road. All trunk roads in the country have money for maintenance.
Yes, they do.
If there's a pothole, if there's an emergency, and it comes every year. And by the way, it is a certain percentage already determined by the Roads Act. So it is not any favor. And they had not done maintenance for 3 years. You're aware? 3 years there was no maintenance because a contractor was given. He was not able to do the job, and he did not withdraw his contract, and the contract was for 2 years. So before they did the termination, it took those so many years. So all that amount of money has piled up, and that is what they're using to go on. But there was to be done a service lane. Are you aware the service lane cannot be done? Because there are a number of people on the road. Yeah. So there's no, and by the way, the design has been done by the local engineer. So it is not a new design. What was promised was a dual carriage with service lanes, so that you're able to exit people in Rongai and the people going to Kiserian, and the exit, the dual carriage goes to a place called Kisamis, so that you decongest the whole area, and the people going probably to Kajiado through Isinya, you're able to move. I'm giving that one because I was there. I was an MC at the point where the design was shown by CS Masharia of the intentions to do all that road. So if the president knew what was happening when he was deputy president, he would have carried along the idea, either by toll or whatever design. What people needed was a dual carriage, because Ongata Rongai is just 15 kilometers away from Nairobi.
The roads you give are an example of many of the issues that people talk about. Things have gone wrong in the country. I mean, because take your pick, really. Whether you look at infrastructure, whether you're going to look at health and education, across board, there is a little bit of something everywhere. But is it a William Ruto issue as president, or is it a systems issue for which Kenyans need to be looking into and making decisions based on that?
John C. Maxwell said everything rises and falls on leadership. William Ruto is the president. One, he shepherds, he guides, he provides the means and ways. And where he does not have, he gets advice of things to be done and makes the right decision. If I was president today and there are crises in the country, there is always a way out of any crisis. There are decisions that have to be made. For instance, on infrastructure, if there were pending projects that the former administration, which he was part of, and you are aware that these are projects that needs to be done, number one, you make a decision. You don't start anything new before you finish the old, because the old belongs to the same people. William Ruto has started many new projects before completing the old projects. Part of the fuel levy today that is being securitized is doing new roads in some regions, not all regions. If I was the one, even prudence, anybody who has done a bit of administration, just begin with the old, finish up, then start the new. I found pending projects from my predecessor. The projects are no longer his projects. When I came in, the first thing I did, you just complete those projects. One, they benefit people. Number two, government resources, or rather taxpayers' money, has been used prudently. And also, it doesn't become an audit query. Because if I left a project hanging, it becomes an audit query. Even if not my audit query, it is an audit query that the government money was put in, but you did not complete the project. Then number two, be factual. Whatever can't be done, don't promise. Simple.
Or
The
be
president,
truthful.
yes. In Ongata Rongai, he came and promised that there will be water in 4 months. You know that, yes, he promised 4 months that there will be water. He was opening the houses by King Serenity in Ongata Rongai. At the road, he promised that in 4 months, mambo ya maji Ongata Rongai ndakuwa nimewamalizia.
So there's
Then
no water?
Dakaine water up to date has not come to Ongata Rongai.
There's no water in.
Yes,
Okay.
the pipes have been done. The Chinese are still there just painting the tanks. this is 3 years down the line. He came in September 2022.
So, Onesmus, let's talk about the leadership in the country and the representation that ought to happen. And here's a question where Kenyans today feel we have donated our power to be represented, for legislation to happen and for oversight to happen. But all these things that a member of parliament, a senator ought to do is not happening. Is it wrong for Kenyans to say the leadership of the country have let us down?
I think it's good to separate, because you see, you can't blame the Senate or the National Assembly for a problem that is not theirs. Implementation belongs to the president. Honestly, it belongs to him. We've already approved all the monies he needs to do things. It's approved by National Assembly. Yeah, and it's simple. By the way, my job, there's a committee called the Committee of the Whole, but at the point of supplying money to different state departments, called the Committee of Means and Ways. You provide means and ways for him to implement projects. He's the one who procures. He's the one who does everything. He's the one who goes for implementation. It is his job. So when we say the president has failed, I am very clear in my mind that my job starts and ends at the point of facilitating him to do what he ought to do. We have facilitated him enough. He has even securitized fuel levy so that he gets money upfront. And when he gets this money upfront, he says he wants to do away the pending bills. Then do away the pending bills. Let contractors work. And that is it.
So if water does not come to the people of Rimpa in Kajiado North today, and there is an issue of why that has not happened, the member of parliament is not in any way connected as to why that water has not arrived, yet your electorates understand that you can petition the house, you can oversight, you can follow through to ensure that water gets to them.
Yeah, and I think if I've failed on that job, now you can blame me for it. I have raised those issues. The issue of the Ndakaine water, which is the Rimpa issue, and for information, even my own family lives around there. The issue of the Ndakaine water has nothing to do with Parliament has facilitated. Whether there's a problem with the contractors, you can't blame me for that. The president, the executive, the job of the executive is to make sure there are no such problems. And if the contractor does not work, let them get another contractor. Full stop.
Your role as oversight member does not fall there?
By the way, even my oversight is not that they're telling an engineer do this or do that.
What is it?
True oversight. Actually, the person who comes to me, there are only two. It's either the PS or the CS. And if the water is under an agency, let's say an MD or a parastatal, he can come. And I can only go to the extent, I am not the Auditor General. Neither am I the DCI to know when funds are being misappropriated. But before me, they can give me the scenario. They can tell you we are at 80%. The 80% is not complete because of 1, 2, 3. We are doing 1, 2. And let me tell you, any question you ask in Parliament, either a CS is there in person or he answers. Yeah? You cannot say that this is not the correct answer. Until what point? When the Auditor General flags off. It is only the Auditor General that can flag off an issue and you raise it. And even if you want to take on misappropriation, you only take misappropriation with a report of the Auditor General.
So, that's fantastic that you've brought that up. Because in the last 6 weeks, the Auditor General has been going full force in terms of these reports that she's been bringing out, herself and her office. Go from health to education to government services to infrastructure. She's not gotten onto infrastructure just yet, but I imagine that they're done and that those reports are going to come out in a little bit of time. To transport. Take your pick. She's done it.
Yes,
She's come out and she
Now,
said, these are the discrepancies that we have found, but she doesn't have the power. The people who have the power
Is us.
are Onesimus, Gogoyo, and everybody else who sits in the National Assembly. What's going to happen with that?
Two things. For instance, your newspaper today talks about the e-citizen billions trail. One of the issues you will see me, both in public, in Bunge, will take on the issue of e-citizen. Because right now, we know where the money has gone. There's a trail. You can tell the companies involved. The owners have been mentioned. It is no longer hearsay. It's fact that probably there's a family that has been involved in swindling money from the e-citizen. About 5 shillings from the money collected goes to specific individuals, a family, a mother, and the children. And it's in the, actually the Auditor General has flagged off the entities and how the cash flow has gone. And a specific bank in the country.
Yes, we know this. What the question is, the people
Now,
who have the power
the
to get
beauty,
this thing done are yourselves.
Before it was a story. Right now, the Auditor General has done an official report. You're aware it's going to come to Parliament?
I'm very aware. This is why I'm asking
that's where
what's
you
going
pick
to happen.
That's where you pick it up. And let me tell you, of course, there are many ways to block this issue. But the beauty is, when it is on government paper, it lives. And even if you block it for a while, it is not so long. Just watch what happens in the next 2 weeks around this issue. We have 1 week to Bunge before we go on recess. But watch what happens from now.
You seem
What
to have
will
some bit of
happen?
leakage. Tell us what's going to happen.
Parliament has a job to do. Yeah, over this.
The question is it going to be done? Mind you, this might be the first time.
It might not.
This might be the first time that the Auditor General is giving so much in terms of detail in this report about e-citizen, all right? But there have been other cases where the Auditor General, and not just her, in offices held by Edioko before her,
Yes.
that they have brought out huge, damning reports about millions, billions of shillings that have been lost in whatever sector. Again, giving the responsibility to the House of Parliament to then say something must be done. There has never been one case, and I say never, there has never been one case that has come to Parliament as a result of the reports by an Auditor General that has gone to prosecution. Why?
Do you know the Golden Bags issue?
Where is it today? Is there somebody sitting in jail over golden
But
Bag?
you're aware of the story?
I'm very aware.
It happened in which year?
Decades ago.
But when did it come alive in Parliament? It came about 10 years after. The issue of when, just hold it there. She has done her part. All it needs is somebody to run with it.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Family is all about sharing. It's about